What's going on, y'all? It's Uppercut Podcast. We back with another video, man. It's your boy Real Vibes. Got my boy Scoop with me. Beautiful day to record. I mean, yo, it was a beautiful day outside today. It's like actually starting to get like warm and hot outside, man. Like the
Guys,
video.
bro, boy, I stepped out. I'm dying. I'm like, yo, I'm like, let me go back in the crib. But how you doing today and shit? You good?
Nah, man, can't complain. Just got done a little workout. Just trying to stay a little fit, a little healthy. We talking boxing, might as well make sure you feel me. You
Damn
getting right.
shit. You know they say
Feel me?
you stay ready, so you don't gotta get ready. You know.
You already. So I think this is a great day to record too. It's a lot to discuss in the boxing world. For today, what we're going to be discussing is the four kings of the 2020s era. You know, can they live up to the the 80s era? Can they, make their mark on the game? Is that the hottest divisions right now? Like, is there not other divisions hotter than that? Like, so we'll get into all that today. I think just to start it off, like, who out of the four kings is your favorite?
To watch style wise, what do we like? What do we just in general, just to watch?
I'll say, yeah, just favorite. I won't say like who's the best, just who's your favorite. I mean, your best can be your favorite, obviously, as well. But
Um,
and just for you guys who don't know, the four kings we'll be talking about: Gervonta, Tank Davis, Shakur, Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez.
um, favorite to watch would definitely have to be Tank or Tio. It kind of go. I don't know. I just feel like their styles are more exciting than
Okay.
Shakur's and Devin's. Even though they're all great fighters, we know this. I say Tank because he knocks people out. I mean, it's kind of like that's what kind of people like to pay and spend their money
The
for.
casuals love to see it. Yep.
Yeah, I just like it's just nothing like seeing a knockout. Even though I do enjoy the sweet science and defense, and I just it's nothing like paying. You pay $50 for this whatever
Subscription.
subscription,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, and you get to see someone get knocked out. And it was
Yeah.
the build up or whatever it may be. So I'll go Tank or T.O., but probably more towards Tank because he actually puts people out. For my favorite to watch though, for sure.
Yeah. My favorite personally is Shakur, and just for like the reason you said, I'm really a fan of Sweet Science. Now, close number two is I like all watching all of them. I can't even say I
Yeah,
like. I
that's
gotta
what
be.
I'm saying. It's a tough pick, but it's like
That was a tough. Like I
if
was
you was
about
to
to say
pick
all
one
of
though,
them.
you gotta
I
go with
think.
one.
I think it would definitely be Shakur. I like when no homo he can tame his opponent. I like him taking away other people's best aspects. I love that he's the least hit. I think that's kind of fun to watch. Like, okay, how can this dude try to break the defense of Shakur? That's kind of how I watch the fights rather than Shakur is boring. Like I kind of sometimes you gotta kind of give it a narrative going into the fight, so it makes it a little better. You know what you're watching out for. Okay, let's see how this dude goes
Yeah,
against Shakur. Can Haney get this dude out of here? Can To put on a Josh Taylor performance? Can Tank knock him out before the fifth round? You just gotta put different little, you know what I'm saying, just to make the fight even more entertaining. But that's definitely a tough question. It's definitely loaded.
yeah. So all right, let me put you in a perspective, right?
Right.
I got a list. I'm gonna go down this list, right? It's gonna be specific categories, right? And I want you to pick out of the four kings who you feel like has the most edge out of all the four kings, right?
Okay.
So if we just talking resume, right? Who do you
Right.
think has the best resume out of all the four kings?
I think this question is. I think it only has to be two people. Like it can't. Like
Yeah.
in my opinion, it can't be Shakur and it can't be Tink. Just because, and if I had to rank it, Tink would be last because Shakur is a three-time champ. But I just think that some of Tink opponents are like kind of handpicked. We've been, at least me, I've been kind of waiting for Tink to, take that next step and fight, one of the four kings because he is the cash cow of the four kings. He is the guy, so we want to see him fight more of the guys, but we just haven't seen that yet, in my opinion. But to answer your question, I believe that Devin Haney has the best resume so far,
Okay.
and Tio is a close second. Now, the reason I go Tio close second, Tio, like we know, basically went undisputed. He took all the Loma belts, and he beat Loma. Like that's peak Loma. I think so that's kind of the edge over Haney's win over Loma, even though I think that Loma still beats a lot of people. Teofimo stopped Loma's era. This is kind of Loma's era until Teofimo came into the picture, right? So I definitely got to give him points for that. And I also want to say that Josh Taylor win is also super big, you know. But in terms of outside of that, I think that Devin Haney's all around resume is really good. Even in his last five, you go Regis, Cambosis twice, you go Loma. You know, I think even Linares, I think a sleeper. He was definitely a really good fighter in his prime. I just think that accomplishing undisputed at 135, defending it twice, going 140, being two champs there. I really enjoy that. And mind you, he has the most fights out of everyone. I think I consider that, even though he's the youngest, I'm putting that in there as well. I'm personally
He
going
is the
Haney.
youngest. Okay, I like that. I don't know. It definitely is just T on Devin to me, and it's just about what you like. I mean, both are
Right.
undisputed. Uh, Devin beat Regis at 140. He beat Josh Taylor. I mean, it's kind of just like really just a toss up, to be honest. But if I was to pick one, I'm just gonna go a little bit toward T.O. I know we could have definitely put Devin here, but I'll just go T.O. And I'll say why. I say T.O. just because of, like, I know Regis is a former champ, but I just feel like Josh Taylor is better than Regis, and he beat
Okay.
Regis. So if you know, he beat Regis. So
Right. Right.
I just, I just feel like I know they both was undisputed, and I do take in consideration the 18 years old, being young, but like fighting Loma was kind of arguably kind of like it's kind of arguable. Like that fight could have went either way. I feel like when Tio fought him, we know who won that fight. Like we, like Tio won this fight. We
Yeah,
didn't.
but a win is a win. They don't go into the specifics when
Yeah,
they
but
start talking
sometimes
about
it's
the
robberies in
two.
boxing, though. Sometimes it's
That
robbery.
wasn't a robbery. You can't say that wasn't
Everyone says it was a robbery, though.
a robbery and a close fight is two different things,
With
though.
Dev,
A robbery. No one says robbery. People say like,
a
okay, you could
lot
have
of people
leaned
say
Loma,
robbery, bro.
but you
A lot
can't
of people.
say you can't. Anyone who says robbery, I'm not gonna say don't know boxing, but like I think it's just
I
crazy.
think,
It
I
was it
think,
was a super close fight. Like whether you lean Loma, like
yeah.
you're not gonna go Loma 8-4. That's crazy. 9-3 Loma, that's insane. No one's seen that.
No,
If you pick Loma, you had it 7-5.
I
That's it.
think, I think like it was like 2 rounds each way. Like it could have went two this way, could have went two this way. But I just feel like Devin was questioning himself during that fight, and that's not good for being a fighter. Like Loma looked confident that he won that fight. Like he went, especially in them close fights. Dad was like, I don't know if he was watching it. He was in the corner. He was like, he keeps knowing I'm going to this side or something like that. I think he was saying that. He was like, he already know. Like I keep going. He was saying that to his dad. So he did not know what to do. He did not know. Loma had him
I didn't see it
confused.
like that. I seen it as though, okay, boom. We know what we got to do to adjust. We know he's doing this, so we got to try to do that. That's a good fighter picking out what he's
Yeah,
doing well. Bad fighters, they don't understand what the other fighter is doing well. They won't try to
yeah.
make the adjustment. I think he
Mm-hmm.
has the boxing IQ and the boxing regimen just to say, all right, he is hitting me with this shot, boom, bada boom.
Yeah.
I personally believe Devin Haney, the reason he won that fight, he won 5 out of first 7. I think in the beginning it was
Loma was
clearly
closing. Yeah.
it was clear who won the first few rounds. Like I don't know, like I didn't have a robbery, but if you decided to go with Loma, that's not crazy. I
But
did
let
have
me put
Devin
you in this
winning.
perspective though, right? If all these belts is on the line, right? And let's just say Dev won the first 5, right?
Sure.
Then you have Loma. Let's say he wins 5 or whatever. So that's 2 rounds. Especially in these close kind of fights, you're gonna judge who's closing, like who's closing better. And that's the same situation that happened with Better Biev and Bivol. A lot of rounds was won in the beginning by who? Bivol. But later in that
Sure.
fight, who started to close better? Who was trying to make every what do they call it? Emptying the gas tank, as you would say, instead of just not taking
Yeah.
that risk. And it seemed like in that fight, Dad was just trying to stick to his game plan, and then Loma was like, "All right, I'm letting this. I'm gonna empty out this tank. Like I gotta empty out the tank. Like The
I
clock is
think
ticking.
I think Loma had a really good performance, and I think that's a really good Loma.
Yeah,
I think the point is where we're trying to argue is, Devin fought a really hard opponent,
yeah,
and we all know that Loma probably beats 97% of all the lightweights. So to have a Loma win on both resumes, I think is really good. Like you said, that is a little younger Loma, but I think
yeah,
that it's still Lomachenko though. Like we gotta remember Lomachenko. We
yeah,
remember as the top 10 fighter of this generation. So I
yeah.
do think
Great
that
fighter.
is a solid win. But
Yeah.
what's the next category?
All right. So for this one, I went defense. Myself, I had to go Shakur. Shakur is the best defensive sound boxer in boxing right now to me. So this one, to be honest, wasn't even close. Like
This one.
Tank gets hit. We know T.O. gets hit. T.O. gets busted up sometimes. Pause. Uh, Devin, he gets hit when he's not keeping his hand up. But
This is the
it,
easiest one out
I
of the
know it's
group.
Shakur
So
on
we
that.
could just move on. We can move on.
Oh shit, he
I
don't
want
even want to
Shakur.
get his
Yeah, I mean, you basically said it. I mean, we don't even gotta go too much for. I'm pretty sure everyone probably agrees with you on that one.
Yeah,
No controversy.
I had squeezed this one in here right there, this category. Who is the most
Okay.
disciplined?
I mean,
As
to
far as
me,
like game plans and sticking to that game plan no matter what.
I'm not gonna say it goes hand in hand with defense, but for Shakur never to get out that rhythm he's always in, that always, staying right in range where I can hit him, but you know, he can't hit me. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's pretty disciplined. I would say Dev is a close second, but I think in terms of Shakur, no one's got Shakur out of that rhythm. Like no one ever made
Yeah.
Shakur have to change his game plan. So I would go Shakur on that as well.
I'm gonna go Devin. And I say Devin because out of all the four kings, right? I feel like Dev is the least talented, like
Mm,
as far as ability. I just feel like Dev knows how to stay disciplined and put his game plan together and listen. And I feel like that's what makes Dev a great fighter and was able to let him become undisputed and then another weight division champ. So excuse me, I feel like you take that away, it's like Dev is like he's the bottom of the bunch talent wise because you got Shakur. Shakur was blessed with immaculate defense and eyes. Like Shakur is like crazy. Tank, he has the ability of power, like an IQ as well. You have T.O. He's like a mixture of all of it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But then you
No,
got Dev, who's
that's
super
a good take.
super disciplined. Like he's
That's a
disciplined.
good take. But I do think that does get overlooked with talent. But I do agree with that in terms of,
As far as the Kings,
if you're doing just if you're doing like 2K ratings, Dev
yeah,
John probably would be the lowest overall.
he'd be like
In
an
terms,
88, 89.
no, it would be in the 90s. It would be
He'd
in the
be an
90s. But,
88, 89.
I don't
Dev would be
know.
an 88, bro.
That's crazy. That's
Dev is
crazy.
like,
Oh
who
no,
could I
no, I
compare
can't
him in
let
the
you sound with
NBA?
that. No,
Dev is
no,
like,
no, no, no. You might say something corny.
no, Dev
Dev,
is like
don't do Dev like
he's
that.
like
Dev
he's
not in
like
the 80s.
AI. He got swag, okay. He got the swag. He got the flair, but he just doesn't have a talent like a. Well, AI did have talent though. I don't know if you could say that.
I don't know if that was a comparison, bro. Devin is
Mm,
really good. I think Devin is definitely still very
do you
skilled, but
believe he's
I
the
could
least talented out of the bunch? At
I
least.
do agree with that
Okay.
because, like I said, those other three dudes I have in the pound for pound list. So, but
Yeah.
all four of them are in the pound for
In the pound
pound
for
list.
pound. So it's yeah.
So we're picking hairs. But what's the
Yeah.
next category? I like discipline though. I like that.
Okay. I went power on this next one. You let me know what you think as far as power.
Yeah, for power, I will go Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm not gonna say it's not as close, but I do think with TL has great pop too. TL
Sneaky,
has
sneaky pop.
TL has great pop. That's why I would have second in this list. But another category where I felt like we don't have to go too in depth. Gervonta has literally sleep highlights. Like
Yeah.
dudes are going to sleep, so
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of even talk about all the other dudes when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Santa Cruz in the corner like this. We gonna
Yeah.
clip this. He got Santa
Mhm.
Cruz in the corner like this.
Yeah.
So that's self-explanatory. speed. This is super, super debatable right
See,
here.
this is an
This
interesting
is
topic.
super, super
I want to
debatable.
see who you went with this. All right, can we for this one? Can we go rank them by 1 by 4?
Okay, we could do that. I gotta go Tio, bro. I'm sorry.
I
Tio's the
gotta.
fastest to me. Tio is a super athlete on the low, bro. Like Tio is super talented.
Let me
Like, bro, he is
go ahead.
talented. You watch him train, I just be like, bro, what is he doing? Like, he jump a rope like Floyd. He out here doing backflips and shit. I'm like, bro, what are you doing, Tio? Like, Tio has some, bro, underrated speed. If you watch him in NYC out of the ring, the ring, I think it was ring 1 or ring 2, whatever it was with Turkey. He was fighting Barbosa. I remember it was a punch. I think it was in the second round. Barbosa, he shot a jab. Tio slipped to the side, punched him in his body, and came. I'm like, damn, bro, like that shit was kind of fast. I'm like, damn, bro, like you feel me?
Tio is super explosive, and I don't know if this comparison isn't exact, but he just kind of has that Roy Jones swag to him where every punch is tough.
Yeah,
like I don't know, every punch is tough.
swaggy.
And then he can get back exactly to where he's comfortable defending right after. Like with whatever punch, he can flip and counter so well. Even if he is pressing forward, jab, back, jab, jab,
or jab,
combo.
jab defense, slip inside.
Yes,
Like you
yes.
know how he's comfortable wherever he is. Like Roy Jones, I like that comparison right there. That's a good comparison.
Tio, I really like him. I really enjoy him. So now for speed, I'm gonna go from 4 to 1, right? So you can argue with me if I'm crazy. I think Tank is the slowest out these 4. Because, like you said, I do have Tio above him.
You got 3. Tank slower than Shakur?
I believe. See, when we talking speed,
and Dev?
We
Dev
talking,
is kind of fast though. Dev is kind of fast.
Look, because you can't. What are we just talking about with speed? Speed can go foot speed, hand speed, head speed.
Let's go hand speed. Let's go hand speed.
But when the way I thought about it, I thought about all of it. That's a whole different question. I feel like when in terms of foot speed and in terms of pace of fight, like obviously Shakur and Tank both like slower fights, but Tank is throwing majority power shots, and he's not throwing straights and jabs, something that would be quick in general. Like those aren't quick shots. Don't get me wrong, the power punches are explosive. You feel me? The uppercuts, the hooks, they're explosive.
Yeah.
But I don't see crazy hand speed or out of this world hand speed like a Tio, and I don't think his feet, and we know his head don't move. You know, we didn't get to defense yet, or we did. I had him ranked last for defense as well. I feel like his head doesn't move as well as the other dudes as well. So that's when I went off for speed. I got Haney third fastest. Tio and Shakur actually had a tie. I think Shakur's hand speed is actually underrated because he gets, just like all defensive fighters, like you got to jab and straight really well. And, you know, those are super accurate, super sharp. And then he's also fast enough to get right back here, throw a punch, throw a combination. He could step right back here, then get right back in the pocket like he never left. I feel like that's super underrated.
Let me ask you a quick question, not to cut you off, right? What you think takes more time, right? Throwing a jab or an uppercut? What you think takes more time?
Who's are you saying? Just anybody
in general? What do you think takes longer, to do this or to do this? What you think?
I would say jab and bring it back. Jab and bring it back. I think
it's fast. It's easier to throw.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why Tank is so impressive. He's throwing uppercuts at the speed of jabs. That's why a lot of these guys is getting knocked out, bro, because he's throwing it. It's not that he's throwing it. He's placing it at a certain time and at a certain speed, which is why I feel like I'm going as far as I'm going Tank. I'm going Tio. I'm going Tank. I'm going Dev, and then I'm going Shakur. But I do feel like Shakur's speed is definitely super underrated. Dev and Shakur, you could, but I like Jeb's jab. Like before the Ryan fight, you could arguably say he had the best jab in boxing.
I still think he had a really great jab.
You know what I'm saying? People like after that fight, everyone's like, "Oh my god, his jab is fast as shit." Like
his jab is insane.
That shit's fast. And it's like he could throw it from angles. So it's early, but the only reason why I'm saying speed is because I'm not just talking about just a jab. I'm talking about pure hand speed. You know, that's why
If
I
you
kind of went
talking pure
T.O.
hand speed, it
Like,
could be a little different. But I tried
yeah.
to include foot speed and head speed as well,
You
though.
don't think Tank has
Because
good foot
I,
speed?
is he better on feet than Shakur? Getting in and out the
I
pocket
I listen. Where does power come from,
is generated from your legs. Absolutely.
bro? Tank, watch his feet, underrated. In the way he trains, I watch it like I watch a lot of behind the scenes training work. He goes through drills and drills and drills and drills. Shakur do too. That's why these guys. That's why Shakur is good at defense and Tank is having devastating knockouts because he's generating from certain positions, certain placement. Shakur, he knows how to get out the way with his foot speed, like with his feet. It's the reason why these guys are. But this is just a hard. This is
This
just
is
a
the
hard take.
debate. This is
This is
why it's
just
a
a
great
hard
debate.
take. It's just
It's
a
just a
hard
great
take.
debate. I think we
Let's
got
just say
one more.
I'm
Right?
gonna go with T.O., Tank, Dev,
Shakur.
Shakur, and it's still hard to even say that list. To be honest with you, we
This
can
is
make a
tough.
debate for everyone. It's a
That
tough.
was one of the harder ones to choose from, honestly.
So what's your list again? Who you going with?
So it was for speed, Shakur, Tio. Well, Shakur and Tio tied, Devin, Tank.
Okay, I can't even. It's like you can put anybody anywhere. Okay, I ain't mad
Yeah,
at it.
you feel me? I think what we got last, Chin.
Yeah, we got Chin.
I
So as
think the
far as
only
Chin, like,
reason
what you
go,
think?
I think the only reason that this is an interesting discussion because of what's not there, what the evidence of not being there, you know, if that makes sense. So let me explain what I mean. So because Shakur is such a great defender, you could argue that his chin hasn't been tested,
Yeah.
you know, because Tio, even though I think he's a great head mover, I think he moves his head and he's able to put his position and better his body in better positions than Devin and Gervonta. I think he's better defensively sound, but we have seen him get dropped in the past.
I think Dev has the worst chin. I'll say it.
We've seen Dev
He got
fight.
heart though.
Dev has heart, but we've never seen Dev drop outside of a steroid boy.
Yeah.
That's what we
Okay.
gotta. So the
You gotta
reason I
take that in
picked Tank
consideration.
is because all his fights he gets hit.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I go Tank. And
But
we've
I think
seen
that's his
Tank.
game plan.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like you have to go Tank because that's what you usually see. I feel like all the other dudes are a little better defensively than Tank. I think Tank.
Not necessarily. I feel like T.O. gets hit a lot though, bro. T.O. he be busted up sometimes when he fight.
I mean, he's a. You got. I mean, in his best performances.
All right, so let me ask you a question, right? Who's been dropped out of the four kings? Who has been on the canvas?
Tio and Devin, right?
So with that bystander, as far as chin, right? Chin is the definition of the durability and to withstand shots, right? So if Tank and Shakur never got dropped, you can't even put them in that category. They never. Chin is like
No, that's not. I can't really go with that.
to me,
I
chin is
can't go with
to be
that.
able to withstand punches and not getting dropped, like on some Marvin Hagler stuff. Like that to me is chin. Like I mean,
I think, and the
I
reason
think
I
you're
don't
looking
really
at it
argue
from like a
no, no, I'm
not
not
getting
looking at it.
hit or
No, I'm
like
not. I'm saying, look, Shakur, I put out the discussion. No, I didn't put him out the discussion. I think his chin hasn't been tested, so I can't say he has the best
but
chin.
you got to put him in that. You got to put him in the conversation.
Yeah, so I would say he has the worst chin because it hasn't been touched. That's what I'm literally saying. But
Okay.
but it kind of is weird of a situation because it hasn't been touched. Like I can't really say it, right? We don't
Yeah.
have no evidence. I think with Tink as the guy who's been hit the most out of these dudes, and for him to withstand the punches
You
to
think
all of them. I mean, let's think about it though.
Theo got dropped by Cambosis?
Tio got dropped by Cambosis. That's true. But Cambosis,
He's
we
a
know
B-level fighter.
everyone who's got dropped by a B-level fighter. A lot of dudes got dropped by. That doesn't mean
Listen,
the greatest of all time has got dropped. I don't think
Correct.
getting dropped isn't the worst thing. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
Tank, because Tank walks through shots. Like me and you both watch Tank fight. Tank goes through punches, and Tank usually in the first 6 rounds is kind of losing. You know, Tank
usually always.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm going Tank, just for the simple fact He's walking through dudes' shots to get to the shots he wants.
You
I feel
going
like
Tank
those
with the
other,
best chin or the worst chin?
the best chin.
Okay, I'm not mad. I thought
Because
you were saying the opposite. I thought you were
no,
saying
no,
Tank got the worst chin because he gets hit like most. I was like, wait,
no, no.
I was
That's
like,
not a
wait a
bad.
minute.
That's not a bad thing that you can get hit with shots and
Yeah,
still go
yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
people.
Okay, I
That's a
thought you were
that's
saying the other thing. I was like, wait a minute, what is it? I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. Like I'm saying, like Tink, he his style. I don't think the other three would be able to do as well. Like just take some of the other dude's best shots and continue to fight the way you fighting. Like other dudes are trying to change up their style, back up some. Tank literally wants to get hit, kind of like, you know what I'm saying. So that's the only reason why I would go Tank. What you got?
Okay, so you going Tank? Who's your two?
I got Haney, T.O. He has been dropped, a few times. I feel like the Haney is too because he got dropped against Steroid Boy. Like, you feel
Yeah,
me? I don't,
and he got up every
he got
time,
up 3 times. He did get dropped 3 times, but
and he was, bro.
I need to
The
see him
rounds was
get dropped
they was
a few.
competitive too. The
Yeah, I
rounds was
need to see him
competitive.
get dropped against like other people. I feel like he
Yeah.
withstood Regis for whatever Regis did hit him with. He withstood it. He withstood Loma best shots. He withstood Cambosa's best shots twice. So I have to have him higher than Tio. You feel what I'm saying? So and then Shakur don't really get touched. So I gotta have him last.
Okay.
That's how I'm thinking about it.
So I'm gonna go. Tank, Dev, Shakur, Tio. I'm only going Tio last because Tio face be busted up and he got dropped.